Scott from Gunday YBM, and today we're going to be looking at conditional sentences. Now there are three types of sentences we're going to look at today. We have first conditionals, and these are sentences that explain things that are possible or likely to happen. And then we have second conditionals, and this is the opposite. Things that we think are impossible or unlikely to happen. And finally, we have third conditionals. And these are things we think are impossible because they happened in the past, and you cannot change the past, therefore impossible. And these sentences are usually associated with the feelings of regret. Now let's look at first conditionals. Now as I said, first conditionals are sentences that talk about future events that are possible or likely to happen. For example, if I go to Canada, I can buy you a souvenir, okay? Now most conditionals will start with if, okay? If suggests that yes, there is a condition involved. The condition here is if I go to Canada, okay? Now the verb here is in its original infinitive form. And I'm saying it this way because yes, I believe it is possible or likely that I will go to Canada. And if I do, I can buy you a souvenir. Again, the verbs here stay in their infinitive form. Here's another example. If I am free tomorrow, I can meet you. Here we have the be verb in its present form followed by an adjective. If I am free, then I can meet you. Once again, I am saying this because it is very likely or possible that I can be free. And if that's true, then I can meet you. And again, our verbs are in their infinitive form. The next type of sentence we'll look at is second conditionals. Now, as I said, second conditionals talk about situations that are impossible or unlikely to happen. Okay? Here's an example. If I could read minds, I could become very powerful. Now this, of course, is a second conditional because it is impossible for anyone to read other people's minds. Absolutely impossible situation. Therefore, I could become very powerful. Okay? So this time, we're going to have our verbs in the past tense. If I could, then I could. Okay? Here's another example. If she quit her job, she would be a happier person. Now, it is not impossible to quit your job, of course, but perhaps in her mind, it is very unlikely. She needs her job, okay? She has to support a family, for example, so she thinks she can't and won't quit her job, therefore it's impossible or unlikely. If she quit her job, and this verb is in the past tense, but quit does not change between present and past, she would, again in the past, be a happier person. Now to clear this up, let's take a look at these two sentences. Here we have a first conditional. It says, if I win the lottery, I will travel around the world. Okay? We have the infinitive of win, and then we have the affirmative, will travel. Okay? This second conditional says, if I won the lottery, I would travel around the world. Here we have the past form of won plus the past form of will. Okay? Now, these are both okay. You can use either one. Okay? But it all depends on your attitude. If you say this, if I win the lottery, then you are saying that you think it is likely or possible to happen. Perhaps you bought a lot of tickets and chose a lot of numbers. Therefore, your odds are better of winning. If you say this, if I won the lottery, then you think, no, I won't win. It's unlikely or it's impossible. You can say that this is the difference between a positive thinking person or a pessimist, a negative thinking person. Now let's take a look at third conditional sentences. As I said, we use third conditional to talk about past situations, and they are impossible because we cannot change what has already happened in the past. And these sentences are usually associated with the feelings of regret and or criticism because someone did or didn't do something. Let's take a look at an example sentence. If we had taken a taxi, we would have arrived earlier. Now we're saying this because we didn't take a taxi and we were late, okay? So again, we're expressing regret of something that didn't happen. We cannot go back and change this situation. So that's why we are going to say this. Now let's take a look at the grammar of this sentence. It says, if we had taken a taxi, we would have arrived earlier. Now, if you notice, we have the past perfect tense. Had taken, and would have arrived. Now the reason we're using past perfect here is because, well, this didn't happen in the past, okay? And this result didn't happen in the past. And when we're talking about things that could or would have happened up until a point, or if we are looking for a desired result that didn't happen, well, these are the situations where we use the perfect tense. Let's take a look at another example. If I had studied more, I would have passed my exam. Now I'm saying this because, for one, I didn't study more. Perhaps I didn't study much at all. And here it tells me that no, I did not pass the exam. I failed the exam. Okay? So I'm feeling a little regret for what I did or didn't do. Again, we have our past perfect tenses because this did not happen, and would have passed, again, the past perfect, because this result did not occur. Now to recap, let's take a look at these sentences. Here we have a first conditional sentence. If I work harder, I will get promoted. Okay? Again, I think this is likely and possible that I will work harder. And if I do, then I am pretty sure, almost certain, that this will happen. Second conditional. If I worked harder, I would get promoted. Here we have past tense verbs, okay? And I'm saying this because, well, I'm not going to work harder. It's very unlikely. If I did, this would happen, but this is probably not going to happen. And finally, in third conditional, if I had worked harder, I would have got promoted, okay? Here we have past perfect once again, and what I'm saying is that I didn't get promoted. Somebody else did, and it's because I didn't work hard enough, okay? So here I'm expressing regret, and it's third conditional because I can't go back and change what already happened. For more information and practice, join Gunday YBM's Mid-Topics class.